Hello and welcome to the Construction Record Podcast. I'm digital media editor Warren Frey. I'm on vacation this week, but in the meantime, I have an interview today with Independent Contractors and Businesses Association President Chris Gardner about the ICBA's 2023 Construction Innovation Summit, which is happening in Vancouver on October 30th and 31st. It's going to focus on technology innovation, addressing the labor shortage, and more. And now, without any further ado, here's that interview. Okay, I guess my first question about the Construction Innovation Summit is, I took a look at it, and well, first of all, ICBA is known for construction advocacy benefits. I wouldn't say technology is top of the list, but this is definitely a tech-heavy summit. So maybe you could go into why you decided to go in that direction.
Well, yeah, we use the term innovation. That was a purposeful decision for a couple of reasons. One is, if you think of the construction industry, it does get, I think, it gets a bad rap for being slow to adopt technology, to be slow to innovate, and I think construction does a much better job than the general view is out there in the marketplace. Now, of course, we need to do more, but construction adopts technology and is more innovative than lots of different sectors of the economy. And if you look at the economists' analysis of how the economy is structured, which sectors are innovating faster than others, construction is somewhere in the middle of the pack. So we're not as bad as people might think, but there's more we can do. And that's really what this conference is all about. It's 2 days of a focus on innovation, technology, and because right now, there's a lot of challenges that are facing the construction sector, and in no particular order. That I'd say the top 3 would be shortage of people, the red tape and regulations that slow down project approval and the permitting processes, and the knock-on effect that has to contractors, and then supply chain constraints and the challenges we've had coming out of COVID. With the supply chain. So those would be the big 3. And then you've got some newer challenges. Mental health is, we survey our 4,500 members and clients every year. Mental health is now coming. We never saw it before COVID. Not that it wasn't an issue, but it's now showing up as a top of mind challenge for contractors. So this summit's really focused on innovation, from what can we do to do things better, more effectively and efficiently on site, but also the impact that will have on, on everything from how we design buildings, how we actually construct them, and everything in between. Because right now, annually, there's about $5 billion that is spent on technology applications that are specific to the construction sector. And so there is a lot that's going into the pre-construction process, collaboration between designers, and how the supply chain is incorporated into the building phase. So there's a lot going on. So we're trying to bring it all together in 2 days. A lot to cover. We've got over 40 speakers, but we're excited about the opportunity to host this summit.
That's what I was going to go into next. I was going through the list, and it just kind of keeps going with all the speakers you have for this thing, and not just people here in town, lots of other people too. So maybe you could speak to some of the technology leaders thought leaders you've brought in, because I've seen a few of those, and then B, other people involved in construction.
Yeah, we've tried to mix it up between leaders in this market, and there's a lot of leaders who stand out in terms of innovation and what they're doing, and then people from across North America. Who are leaders in new trends, and what the opportunities are for contractors, for owners, for designers, for builders, to take the next step and enhance the construction process, everything from design right up to construction and commissioning a building. And there's a lot of pressures that are driving this. And I mentioned earlier at the top, the shortage of people. Well, if you look at what happened to British Columbia last year, for the first time ever, more people died in British Columbia last year than were born. And that's never happened before. And so that's cutting across the entire economy, and it's certainly being acutely felt in construction. And so there's really only two ways through the shortage of people, and that is immigration and technology. So the other challenge that construction has in terms of its workforce is the composition of that workforce. The average retirement age in construction is 60. And right now, about 20% of the construction workforce is 55 or older. So if you look at that, within the next 5 years, we could see 20% of the construction workforce exiting. That's an enormous loss of talent, of expertise, and of skill. So that comes back to, well, how do we solve that? Well, immigration, but immigration may not solve the skill side, technology, which is becoming more efficient and ensuring that you're not losing anything in terms of quality of design and the expertise that you need to build the building. And so immigration is only part of the solution because it's imperfect. The challenge is that only 2% of them are going to go into construction. That's about 9,000 people. And across the country, we have vacancy rates that vary between 60 and 80,000 job vacancies in construction. But we're only going to bring in 9,000 people who will look at filling those vacancies. And so we're not doing a very good job of identifying the skills gap we have in our economy and what we need to power our economy going forward, and the new immigrants we're bringing into the country. We do a very poor job of that. So that's a challenge. And then technology can help address some of those gaps. Now, technology is not perfect, but it's certainly an important part of the solution going forward, and hence why we're bringing in leaders from across North America to have these discussions. We've got Indigenous leaders, we've got business leaders, we've got construction contractors, we've got designers, we've got experts in technology. Artificial intelligence is going to be very interesting in terms of its impact on construction, certainly the broader economy. But in construction, what are the opportunities for artificial intelligence to enhance the construction design and building process? So it's exciting, but if you're a contractor, it's a little daunting. Because there's so much that's coming at you if you're in a leadership position in construction. So we're trying to make it digestible and give people a framework through which to have these discussions, and coming out of the summit, hopefully come away with some ideas to help make their business more productive, more efficient, and give them the tools to meet some of the challenges that they're facing day to day.
Now, I know you're probably going to say all of them if I ask what are the can't miss sessions, but what are some of the can't miss sessions that you would say, do not miss this one?
Well, yeah, that's interesting, and I don't want to. I'm careful about all of the panelists who are preparing, but I would say this. I would say that, and I'll go back to that first comment I made about construction and innovation and technology adoption. Construction is doing a better job than it gets credit for. And one of the things we don't do well in construction, and we don't do well in high schools, is if a high school student says, I want to be a business owner, I want to go into business. I guarantee you that out of 100 high school counselors in British Columbia, 99 of them are going to tell that student to go to business school, to go to UBC, go to SFU, go to UVic, study business, and then you can go into business. No one's going to say to them, well, if you want to be a business owner, why don't you go to BCIT, learn a trade, get some experience, and start your own construction company? Because effectively, that's the construction story. Every single construction contractor, whether they've got 2 employees or 10,000 employees, is started by individuals, by families. Some are multi-generational. There's a tremendous entrepreneurial opportunity. And then on technology, if young kids today are surrounded by technology in ways that I wasn't when I was growing up, and so there's an enormous pull towards coding and working for an Amazon or a Meta or a Google, or an Apple, and that's the exciting part of of career choices. But construction is the technology story. And if you're interested in technology, there's all kinds of opportunities to apply those skills in construction, and we don't tell that story. And that's really why we're bringing in all these experts from across the country to have this 2-day discussion, because it will, when you start talking about the supply chain, the applications of artificial intelligence, how we design buildings, pre-construction, how we're actually building them, technology is a fundamental part of every aspect of the construction process. So it's hard for me to say, okay, well, you don't miss this panel or that panel, because I'm frankly excited about all of the panel discussions. And we've got a very exciting panel on Indigenous leaders coming together to say, hey, tremendous opportunities through Indigenous partnerships, and how that landscape is changing so quickly. And that sort of is consistent with how technology is changing what we're doing in construction.
I also see you can get professional credits and points. I assume that's if you're an ICBA member, but how does that work if somebody wants to get credits by attending the summit?
Yeah, so there's BC Housing credits, Gold Seal credits. We're going to have a booth there, so if folks are have registered and they're looking to get the credits in either of those streams, they can just go up and talk to one of our a member of the ICBA team, and we'll make sure that you're appropriately registered and you get those credits. So. And listen, there's a lot that's going to be exciting about it, and there's a lot to learn. So we're happy to be able to offer that opportunity to people who are attending.
And finally, if people want to know more about it, because I think there's a week to go before it happens, where should they go to find out more information?
Just go to the ICBA website and click on that, and you'll see all the sponsors, all the speakers, the agenda. You can register. It's going to be great. We're going to have over 500 construction leaders in over the 2 days, 500 each day. So it's going to be jam-packed, and it's going to be exciting. And so if you are a leader in construction and you're thinking about technology and what it means to your business, it's going to be a very exciting 2 days.
Okay, great. Thanks for joining us, Chris.
Great, thank you.
And that's it for this episode of the Construction Record Podcast. You can hear us on Spotify, Apple Music, and Amazon Music, as well as on our daily commercial news and Journal of Commerce websites. Thanks for listening.